Let's talk about comments for a second. So, I got a comment yesterday from a guy, gosh, I think his name was Lost Transient. I remember that name sticking out. Um, who was complaining about the fact that I scratch my ear in videos sometimes. And in the comment, he made it a point to say, I know you don't read comments. You've said before that you don't read comments. And, it's too bad because you keep cleaning your ear. How many times do I have to tell you to stop, scratching your ear on camera? Um, and the reason why that comment stuck out to me was because I had seen the other comments that he had left on there. Specifically, there was the video when I was at Kennedy Space Center last week or 2 weeks ago now. And I guess I scratched my ear at some point, and I'm sitting there looking through the comments, and I see this one guy just flipping out because I scratched my ear, and I'm like, calm down. So anyway, in a response to that comment, there was somebody else named Carl P. Carl P. Is somebody, and I always see your icon. It's a pink icon with like a skull and crossbones kind of cartoon looking thing. Um, you've been very active on this channel, and you've been very active on the other channel. I really appreciate that. Some of the comments you leave, I've noticed, are really positive and helpful, and you add a lot of extra context and information. You add to the discussion, and I'm very thankful for that. Sometimes you're a little critical, but that's okay. You're not a jerk about it, and I'm fine with that. I've said it a million times. I'm perfectly fine with criticism. I'm perfectly fine with disagreement as long as we're all cool. And you have always been cool. So Carl P, there you go. So my point is, I do read the comments actually on this channel. I don't respond to them very much, and that's a fair point. And anybody who thinks that I don't read the comments because I don't respond to them, I can understand why. I can definitely understand why. Um, and I wanted to just kind of talk about the whole comments thing because it's something that's kind of hard to explain and hard to understand unless you're there. And the reason why I know that is because I didn't used to be where I am now. I used to have a much smaller channel, and I used to be more of a, I guess, consumer of videos than a creator of videos. And so I've seen how the comments and my relationship to the comments has changed over the years. And I just kind of wanted to just talk about it a little bit because it affects you guys, because you guys are the ones that are commenting and you're the ones that are watching and all that. So I took a course. It was called the Video Labs course from a guy named Tim Schmoyer. He runs videocreators.tv. He's got a great YouTube channel if you're really interested in like growing a YouTube channel and that kind of thing. But anyway, I took a Video Labs course with him, and one of the people that came on, and I'm just going to call him out because this isn't a personal thing or anything, but it was Daryl Eves. Anybody who is involved in YouTube knows the name Daryl Eves. He's kind of a guru. He's kind of a legend. And Tim got him on. Daryl, we were on this like video call, and he gave us all these pieces of advice and everything. And my channel at the time had a couple thousand subscribers, maybe. So it was pretty small. And actually, it may have even been under 1,000 at that point. But anyway, point is, back then, comments were a big deal. If somebody commented on a video, it was like, holy crap, it was like exciting, and there's a person out there I can interact with. And, whenever I see a smaller YouTuber that says, oh, I don't read my comments because I don't want to be, affected by them or whatever, I'm always like, no, not only do you need to read every comment, you need to respond to every comment. And I mean, actually, I remember, well, that's a tangent. I'll get back to that in a second. But so Daryl was on his thing, and he was talking about building community, which I didn't even understand what that meant at the time, because there's not like a physical community. And it's still kind of an ambiguous term, especially when it comes to YouTube. It's just like the comments section, basically. And, when you have Patreon, it can be a little bit better facilitated there because it's a smaller, more involved group. Psychologically, you just get more involved in something when you spend money on it. But anyway, so Daryl was kind of explaining all that, and I remember at one point he was like, what you need to do is take a power hour. He was like, take a power hour Every day, set an hour aside to respond to comments. And here's where I was at that time. He said that, and I laughed out loud, kind of in his face. I mean, it was me and like 20 other people, so it's not like he noticed me or anything. But I was like, who do you think you're talking to? Do you think that I have enough comments to spend an hour responding to them every day? It would take me 5 minutes. Like I got maybe 10 comments a day, maybe, back then. And I just felt so offended by that at the time. Because I was like, you don't know who you're talking to. You are not talking to people who have that many, our channels are way smaller than that. Obviously I'm not still offended by Daryl Lees or anything. I've met the guy and he's a good dude. But that just kind of gives you an idea of like how things have changed over time in relation to comments. Something I started to say a second ago was that I've noticed in the past that I could actually, for lack of a better word, convert somebody from being sort of a hater to a fan by responding to their comment. I had a few different people that I first noticed their comments because they were really against something that I said, or really forceful in their disagreement, let's say. And I was able to respond politely and just say, well, good for you, or whatever. But it kind of changed my opinion on how our emotions work. We like to think of a scale between angry and happy, right? Maybe go this way because it's wider. But like angry on one side and happy on the other. And what I came to realize was that it's really more of a disengaged and engaged thing. Like if somebody's really mad at you, then simply by responding to them and not taking it personally and not reacting but responding, I found those people were the ones that would flip and actually become fans and actually become involved and support the channel a lot more. It was an interesting thing to learn. If somebody is angry, that means they're engaged. That means they care about what you have to say. And so if you can kind of engage with them and show some humanity, that goes a long way. And they kind of like, oh, okay, this is actually a decent guy, and maybe we disagree on this, but we're cool, And I also think that there's something about coming together after you disagree on something. There's a little bit of extra dopamine that happens there. You just kind of like the person a little bit better. Anyway, my point is, I used to read and respond to every single comment on my channel. I'm going to talk about the main channel for just a second. Eventually it got to where I just couldn't respond to every comment. And that was, I really struggled with that. Like I really felt like I need to respond to every comment, because that is a great way to build a community. My dogs are barking because there's somebody downstairs doing our floors. But it got to the point where I couldn't respond to every comment. But I still read every comment. And I would heart any comment that anybody would say that was like really positive or encouraging or nice. I would always say thank you and that kind of thing. And then it got to where I did have to kind of do that power hour thing where I had to like set a time limit and be like, okay, I have to set aside an hour to read comments. Now where I am now on the main channel, I have kind of slipped away from the comments a little bit. And it's just because it's just a fact of life. It's a deluge. There's no possible way I could read all the comments. I try to read the comments and respond on the day that the videos go out, because most of the people who watch the videos on the first day are the fans. They're the people who are part of the community. That is the community. The random people commenting on videos that have been out for a couple of years now, they're just people who kind of stumbled onto the channel. And I'm not saying that they don't deserve to be responded to or anything, but they're less forgiving because they don't know anything else about me. They haven't watched any of my other videos. They don't kind of get who I am. through that context. To them, it's just I did this video and I said something they don't like, so they're going to yell and scream at me. And it turns out I am a human being, and I don't particularly like people being mad at me. I don't particularly like people being rude, which is why I have this whole no assholes policy. If you're a total troll and you're a total dick, you're gone. I just don't have the time to be with you. It's like that with real life. I mean, it's the weirdest idea that somebody would think that I have the right to abuse you. You would never put up with that in real life, or at least you shouldn't. I wouldn't, so I don't put up with it here. But I mean, there's still like just a lot. You see a lot of patterns. You see a lot of. For example, yesterday the antibiotics video. I talked about the whole bacteriophages thing, and somebody saying I'm in the pocket of big pharma. I do want to cover bacteriophages. It's clearly a popular topic, but it followed a very familiar pattern, which is the same pattern that I've seen in things like Electric Universe, and some other topics. I won't try to rack my brain right now, but it's basically, it goes really quickly from, hey, this is an interesting idea, to conspiracy land. Immediately people went from bacteriophages are an interesting treatment option to it's being held back by big pharma because they can't patent a virus and stuff like that. So it's funny to me how some certain topics just immediately go to giant, massive worldwide conspiracy. But anyway, my point is, on the main channel, I basically respond to comments and read them on the day that the videos go out, simply because those are my community, those are my people, and I want to make sure and hear what they have to say, because they've been there for a while. They've been involved, and I care about what they have to say. They're my peeps. On this channel, I think the reason why I've never really spent a lot of time responding to comments here is because, like, being more of a daily vlog kind of thing, this is how I can respond. Like, actually reading the comments and going for it. And by the way, this whole, like, daily vlog thing that I've been doing lately since I went to Florida, 100% because of comments. I started getting a ton of comments saying how much you guys like this style of video. Well, there you go. I mean, it's more work on my part, but you guys seem to really like it. So this is how I respond to it. So I do read the comments, good and bad. I probably should take the effort to give a little heart or something when you guys say something nice, but the nice comments vastly outweigh the negative ones. And I am super thankful for that. I'm super thankful for everybody who watches this channel and the other one. I encourage comments. I do read them. Don't get discouraged if you write a comment and I don't respond. I will admit I do tend to have a tendency to actually respond to people who are meaner, or not meaner, but more... Like, I responded to that guy, Lost Transient, or whatever his name is, because he was making such a big deal about my ear, and I was just like, dude, calm down. I mean, it had an itch, and I scratched it. I'm sorry that offends you. But I do have a tendency to respond more to people who are like, I don't want to say ruder, I don't want to say meaner, but just more in your face. I just have that natural tendency to want to defend myself, and I should probably try to curtail that a little bit and respond more to the people who are so encouraging and so thoughtful and show the gratitude and the thankfulness and everything. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. I know I've gone on for a bit now about the whole comments thing. I appreciate all of you. I do read your comments, and I'll try to do better about giving at least a little tiny response on there, but just know that I do read them. Oh, and one more thing, just really quickly. There was a guy named Lucas who threw a big fit about how he's tired of these the TMI series is what he said, and that he was going to turn off notifications on my channel. He's tired of seeing it, clearly thinking that this is my main channel. I just have to ask a favor of you guys. If you are in the comments of any of the TMI videos and there's somebody who does not get that this is a different channel, I'm sorry. I'm personally tired of having to keep reminding people of that. I used to, for a while, say something at the end of every single one of these videos like, this is not the regular channel, this is a TMI channel. I'm going to just ask a favor of you guys. If you see somebody doing that, please politely let them know that this is a different channel. Okay? I'm just going to have to ask that of you because I'm not going to have the time to go through and explain it to everybody. And it's just like Chinese water torture. It's just like this. It's just this thing that just keeps happening over and over again. I just can't stand it anymore. So, if you guys would be kind enough to do that for me, that's the one ask that I have here. Just to let people know this is a different channel. If they don't like this style of content, perfectly fine. You can unsubscribe. It's all right. I don't care. This is for the people who want to watch this. This isn't even my style of video. Like, I don't really follow channels that do this kind of thing, but if you guys like it, I'll do it. Anyway, that's my ask. And that was my rant about comments. I don't know what it is about being young that makes you so desperate to fit in. I know it's kind of a teenager thing once you kind of become more social and you hit that stage. You just really want to fit in. You just really want to be a part of the crowd. You want to be accepted. And that's understandable. But I really wish when I was younger, somebody had told me this. To just own your shit, you know? Whatever it is about you that's weird, that people might make fun of, whatever thing that makes you different from other people, the best thing you can possibly do is just own it. Just say, yeah, that's me. That's my thing. I don't care, you know? And just go with it. If you're a dude and you're into cross-stitching, cross-stitch the hell out of that shit, man. Like, just go for it. Just take that thing, whatever it is, and just go with it. And don't care if other people have a problem with it. If somebody makes fun of you for liking a thing, the only way to take that power away from them is to just own it and say, yeah, I like that thing. What of it? And if they, so what? You know? I think something about getting older, you just kind of stop caring about what other people think. Or it's not that you stop caring, but you stop letting what other people think dictate how you live your life. You stop letting that being the driving force. Or at least that's been my experience. So, I don't know. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know why I felt like talking about it, but whatever it is you're into, be into it. As long as it's not hurting anybody, just lean in, own it, and go with it. I mean, like, I'm not going to claim to be the arbiter of what's cool and what's not cool, but to me, that's cool. If that's what makes somebody interesting. That's what makes somebody worth getting to know and exploring who this person is. You know, if there's a song that you're not supposed to like, just like the hell out of it. Who cares? I was just like anybody else when I was in high school. This isn't me saying this from a position of I've always known this. I certainly didn't know it when I was younger. And I let that fear and I let that insecurity dictate a lot of my behavior and my worldview and my sense of self. To me now, it's like if I say I like a movie that people are just not supposed to like, and people are like, oh my God, you like that movie? I'm like, yes, I love that movie. People laugh their asses off. They think that's awesome. It's, you know, and if anybody thinks that I'm cool, that's why. It's just because I just own my shit. You know what? I'm a sucker for 90s romantic comedies. It actually kind of bums me out that the romantic comedy genre has kind of withered away. So the other day, I'm sitting there at home, and I don't know why, I just felt like watching While You Were Sleeping. So I found it, and I watched it. And you know what? I bawled my freaking eyes out. And I don't care who knows it. You know, it's really amazing to me. I can run a 5K with other people and run the whole way and be all right.
I know for some of you that might not be very long, but for me it is. I've never been a long distance runner. But then I'll come out here in my neighborhood and I just can't do it by myself. I think it's some kind of peer pressure thing. It's the same reason why I work better in coffee shops, just knowing that somebody's watching me makes me buckle down and not screw around so much. By the way, I'm listening to a playlist on Spotify that I made of music by Adam Schlesinger. He's a singer-songwriter behind, or one of them behind Fountains of Wayne. I think one of the most underrated bands ever. And I don't know, I'll put a link down in the description if you're interested.
Okay, this has got me excited because my big goal for this week with Cankerboy, outside of just getting the packages out, which I did yesterday, is to get my stuff on Amazon finally. I'm not so much trying to blow things up on Amazon and like make a lot of sales on Amazon. What I'm trying to do is make it so that Amazon handles all of the one-time purchases, which I used to do. I had to turn those off in around February because I was running out of product, which is stacked up behind me here. But now I'm going to direct people to Amazon, and they can just order it from there, and Amazon will fulfill it, and I don't have to worry about it. I will just, you know, get a little check every month, which is great. But I have to put labels on all of the bottles, which is a little bit of a bummer, but hopefully I can bang that out real quick. So that was one box down. I've got 4 to go, and with any luck, I'll be putting those in the mail tomorrow to Amazon. There's still a few things I got to figure out here. You know what? I'm going to pat myself on the back. I'm very proud of myself. I didn't think I was going to be able to figure out how to do the whole Amazon thing. I've got friends that do it. I was like totally annoying them and relying on them. And then last night I just sat down. I was like, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. And I'm making it work. I'm happy for me. I think that's enough for today. I think I went on a really long rant earlier, so this is probably going to be a super long video. Apologies if you have sat through the whole thing. But, you know, give me the nice comments. I appreciate them. Own your shit. And patting myself on the back. I think that's the takeaway for today. Sure, let's go with it. Anyway, love all you guys. Hope you're doing well, and I will catch you later.